Hey everyone, Big Pauly back for a brand new movie review. For the first time ever, I have watched The Shining.
It's about flipping time you watch this film. People have been telling you to watch it for flipping ages.
Yes, first time, first viewing. I watched the extended cut, which was 144 minutes long. Don't quite know what the extra 20 minutes or so was. I think it is. This is based on a Stephen King story. I believe he actually didn't like the film. I don't know why, because it was awesome. It was a fantastic movie. First of all, before we get into it, I've got to give a shout out to whoever did the 4K transfer on this. The 4K transfer on this movie is astounding. Now, I did watch it downstairs on the 4K TV, obviously with HDR, and the colours were incredible. The picture was so vibrant, the colours of the carpet, the whole look of it looked like it was filmed yesterday. So whoever oversaw the transfer on this film, you did a flipping good job. So what is The Shining about? Okay, it's about, you don't need me to tell you what it's about, but briefly it's about a recovering alcoholic that's also like a part-time writer, decides to go for this job interview in this big old mansion, this big old hotel up in like the Rockies. He's become a caretaker while the hotel's closed through its winter season. So he goes up there with his wife and his son Danny. I wonder what Danny ended up doing later in life.
Hello there.
And they look after this place. They've got the whole hotel to themselves. There are stories of the previous caretaker that actually killed his wife and two daughters and chopped them up with an axe. As you see with that famous scene with those two little weird looking girls standing at the end of the corridor. So that's some freaky visuals. The hotel looks absolutely gorgeous, not just from the air from outside but inside. It's got that yeldy feel to it. Very creepy as well, because what would normally house, you know, maybe a couple of 100 or 1,000 guests, all of a sudden Jack and his wife and kid have got the whole hotel to themselves, and they can explore. They've got the kitchen, they've got all the food supplies that they need and the meat to have a lovely winter barbecue. And while they're left to their own devices in this hotel, keeping an eye on the place, keeping it running at the heart of the beast, fixing anything that needs to be fixed, Jack decides to get back into his writing, although he doesn't have a very extended vocabulary. Weird things start to happen. Danny starts to see these two little girls. We get the famous scene with the blood coming down through the elevator doors, which now I understand more from Ready Player One, having not seen The Shining before I saw Ready Player One. But I can also see the visuals now, and I can see how close that the architecture and the carpets and the whole look of it was to what we saw in Ready Player One. Danny has also got this imaginary friend, and he also starts hearing things and seeing things, high-pitched whistles and stuff like that. Jack's more violent old alcoholic self starts to emerge as well as they're cooped up in this hotel. I'm sure they're going a little bit mad, or maybe it's the high altitude. And there's lots of tension throughout the film, building and building to that famous scene with the door and the axe. And it kind of is starting to repeat the stories from the old caretaker. The one thing at the end of the film that kind of puzzled me a little bit and I wasn't too sure on was when they showed the photograph of a very young looking Jack taken in the hotel in 1921. I don't quite understand that image. because this is like set in the 70s. So if anybody can explain it to me, stick it down in the comments. But overall, yeah, really great film. Really enjoyed it as a first time watch. As I say, the picture quality was absolutely outstanding. The sound was DTS HD Master Audio 5.1, so we're missing that Atmos soundtrack, but it was still loud, creepy sounds, creepy music, and it did at some times feel like there was things happening overhead. There are also some really good special features on here, including commentaries. We have a visual, we have the making of The Shining with optional commentary, three mesmerising features, view from the Overlook, which is the hotel, crafting The Shining, the visions of Stanley Kubrick and Wendy Carlos, and the composer. Fantastic music. I really enjoyed the music in this. As a film that's 144 minutes, based around 3 people stuck in a hotel, was there any slow moments? No, not one moment that would have bored me. Just watching Jack Nicholson even interacting with one person, even his son, was really entertaining, and I just wanted every bit of dialogue to come from Jack. The other actors in the film were really good, including Shelley Duvall, who played his wife Wendy, and also young Danny as well. But all in all, absolutely fantastic film. I can't recommend it high enough to watch this film. I'm not really bothered that if Stephen King didn't like it, I did. But yeah, that's The Shining on 4K. Next up, on the next viewing, will be Dr. Sleep. So I've got to go straight into this. There's young Danny. Yes. So I'm really looking forward to watching this, including the director's cut. So even though this is the 4K, I think I'll probably just watch the Blu-ray, the director's cut, and just see what the whole story is like. So absolutely fantastic. How would I rate The Shining on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm going to give it 9.5 axes through the door. Here's Pauly! Yes, 9.5 out of 10. Totally loved it. Love the fact that I've got it in the collection. I really do hope Dr. Sleep is just as good or lives up to the hype. But I'll be watching Dr. Sleep tomorrow, so I'll give you my opinion on that one. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Like it by giving it some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below if you like The Shining. If you don't like The Shining, what's your favourite scene in The Shining? And I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice to end this video. If you see an empty hotel room, room 237, and you go in and find a naked woman, run.